Good afternoon. Everyone, welcome to a new conference on self-knowledge. We will continue with our series of conferences in Phase A, today talking about conference number 3, Kanta, Conscious Astral Projection. This is one of the most important conferences in the Phase A syllabus because it will teach us a practical tool through which we will be able to investigate, experience, and verify everything we will be learning throughout this course of 50 conferences. Welcome. Any questions you may have, you can leave them in the comments of the video, and we will be attentive to respond to your inquiries. Let's begin by talking about what conscious astral projection is. Conscious astral projection is a natural practice that every human being does during sleep hours. When we fall asleep, at that moment our physical body remains in bed, and our soul, or astral body, detaches from our physical body and goes to a different dimension. This dimension is also called the astral world or the world of dreams. I know that most of us, or most of you, have dreamed. What we call dreams is the same as astral projection. Therefore, it is a natural process that all human beings carry out every day. What we are going to teach today in this conference is how to do it consciously, how to become aware of the process, to be able to move at will in that world and conduct our different investigations. So, when we fall asleep, when we rest in our bed, at that moment our astral double or our astral body detaches and travels to the astral world or the world of dreams. Then, in that astral world or in that world of dreams, we normally move unconsciously. Many of us don't even remember that we are in a dream. Many of us don't even remember what we dreamed. Simply at that moment, we let our physical body stay in bed, and at that moment, our astral body detaches to a different dimension without us realizing the process. The idea is for us to learn to become aware of that process, and to be able to become aware of that process, we need to wake up because we are normally asleep. If we are asleep during our day, if we are asleep in our daily life, we will also be asleep in the astral world without realizing that we are there. Many people probably also say that they don't dream, that they don't remember their dreams, or simply that they don't dream. And what really happens is that we are so asleep, so unaware of our daily life, that we don't remember our dreams. When we start to improve this process of astral projection, making it more conscious, the first thing that will happen is that we will start to remember our dreams or our astral experiences. And now, And as we progress little by little, we will not only remember our astral experiences, but we will also be able to be conscious in the astral world and move at will in this world. Well, now taking this into account, let's talk about what we can do when we experience astral projection. This term, astral projection, has a very important word that means the astral, right? What is the astral? The astral is related to the stars. When a person manages to project consciously, they have the possibility to leave planet Earth and visit other celestial bodies. They have the possibility to go, for example, to Mars, to Venus, to other planets in our solar system, and understand how everything works there. To know, for example, what life is like on other planets, how those people who are there on other planets live, who are usually in other dimensions that are not necessarily the physical dimension. And that is why scientists have not been able to discover that life on other planets. But we could do it through astral projection. That is why it is called unfolding, because it involves extracting the double a body identical to our physical body, but of a different nature, of a molecular nature. An astral, because with that body we can visit other places or other celestial bodies. It is also important to understand that in this astral world, the same laws that exist in the physical world do not apply. Here in the physical world, we are subject to 48 laws, whereas in the astral world, we are not. In the astral world, we are subject to 24 laws, half of the laws that govern us here in this physical world. This is a very important fact, because there we have many more possibilities. In the astral world, we could, for example, fly. And that is something we cannot do in the physical world. In the physical world, we cannot fly because the law of gravity exists. But when we are in the astral world, that law will not exist. That is one of the 48 laws of the physical world. In the 24 laws of the astral world, the law of gravity does not exist. And that is why when you are in a dream, you can fly in that dream. Many possibilities open up for you regarding what you can become in that astral world. In the astral world, for example, we can also travel to the past or we can travel to the future. And this is something that happens because the law of time does not exist. Yes, as surprising as it may seem, time is also a law that does not exist in the higher dimensions. The astral world belongs to the fifth dimension, also called the world of dreams. And there we can move in eternity. We can go to find out things from the past, such as a previous existence, and we can also go to the future to look at part of our destiny, and in this way, if necessary, also know what is going to happen to us in order to modify it. These are some of the things we can do in the astral. We can also visit masters, talk with beings of light, with enlightened beings. We can talk with our own self, which is our true guide, our inner guide, to help us with any decision we have to make, to give us the wisdom we need at any moment in our life, or simply to guide us on our path towards awakening. Now, knowing what the different possibilities are in this astral world, which are many, truly infinite, the idea is to develop this technique, because once we have this technique, by being able to verify each of the things we learn in this course, then no one will be able to deceive us anymore. We will move beyond what is called belief and we will be able to start experiencing. And that is the idea of this knowledge that we can experience. For example, if I talk to you in one of the lectures about the existence of past lives, you can verify that this is true. You can go to the world of dreams and ask your being about your past lives. Tell your being to show you a previous life so that you remember who you were, where you lived, what language you spoke, and what culture you were in. And you can verify this information. It should not remain just a concept or just a belief, but become practical. There is something I would like to clarify in this lecture or on this topic, and that is the well-known misconceptions or the famous fears that exist about astral projection. There are many people who are afraid of astral projection because they think it is dangerous, because they think something might happen to them, because they believe that these kinds of topics should not be touched upon or discussed, that these kinds of practices are forbidden. There are many concepts about what astral projection is, but most, or no, not most, all of these concepts are completely wrong. Why? Because what they do is fill the person with fears and prevent them from consciously practicing this technique. I told you at the beginning of the conference that every human being projects astrally without exception. All of you perform astral projection every day. There is no person who can say they don't sleep or don't go to the world of dreams, and that is astral projection. The only difference when this practice is taught is that the person can perform this procedure consciously, becoming aware of the process. If it's not dangerous when we do it unconsciously while asleep, why would it be dangerous if we do it consciously? So, these mistaken concepts are completely false and lead to people being unable to practice conscious astral projection or unable to awaken in the world of dreams. What are those mistaken concepts? One of those mistaken concepts has to do with, give me a moment, it has to do with that we are going to stay there, for example, that we won't be able to return. That is false. We have a silver cord, as you can see here, that connects our physical body with our astral body. And this silver cord will always ensure that our physical body calls our astral body, or that our astral body comes to unite with our physical body. Therefore, there is no possibility of staying there. What other fears exist? There is the fear or the concept that a demon could possess us, for example. That is completely false. Our temples, our physical bodies are completely closed temples into which no entity or demon or any other ghost or any person can enter. No one can enter our physical body. It is hermetic, it is closed. The only way someone could enter our body is if we want it that way. If we practice, for example, spiritualism and want to be a medium and want someone to enter our physical body voluntarily, that would be the only way an entity could enter. But if that's not the case, through the world of dreams, that will never happen. It is a completely mistaken concept, because every day, as I was saying, we unfold ourselves. Another of the mistaken concepts that arise and appear around when these topics are discussed is that astral projection is something that cannot be practiced, is something forbidden, is something that should not be done, when in reality it is the way we can communicate with our being, with our inner guide, our divine part, to guide us on the path towards awakening or self-realization. So, all the concepts you may have heard about this topic, you will be able to dismantle when you start practicing astral projection and begin to realize how important it is to awaken in the dream world, to investigate everything you are learning. Now we are going to talk about what the techniques of astral projection are. One of the most important techniques of astral projection is through concentration. What does it mean by concentration? It means that the person will focus on a point of their physical body or simply on an object. But it is preferable or important that we focus on a point of our body to avoid distraction. For example, we can concentrate on the area between the eyebrows or on the pituitary gland. We can also concentrate on our heart. When we focus on our heart, then what we are going to do is stay there without letting anything take us away from our heart. If a thought, an emotion, or any defect appears that wants to take us away from that moment, we will let it pass and continue to focus on our heart. We will keep doing this until we manage to feel the symptoms. Imagination. Imagination is a technique through which a person imagines a place, imagines that they are walking in that place, imagines that they are in that place and feels the air of that place, feels the climate of that place, looks at each of the details of that place. That is to say, through imagination, we imagine ourselves being in a place and manage to imagine as many details as we can of the place where we find ourselves. This is so that at any moment we end up in that place, or we succeed in reaching that place with our astral body. Normally, when we do this technique, we keep imagining that we are in that place, that we are walking in that place, until we end up appearing there consciously. The third technique is sleep vigilance, which consists, as its name indicates, of monitoring sleep, of observing the symptoms that occur during sleep, such as the heaviness in the eyelids, for example, or the images that appear as we fall asleep, or sometimes some sounds appear, or simply how our body becomes drowsy, how it changes. We will monitor this without letting ourselves be carried away by sleep, but by staying vigilant until we manage to feel the symptoms. The fourth technique is dying from moment to moment. In previous lectures, we have already learned a bit about psychological death. So what we are going to do is practice psychological death. We will focus on our heart, feel our heart, and begin to eliminate all the psychological defects that manifest at the moment we are doing our practice. For example, a defect appears that wants to go to the kitchen to eat something. While we are doing the practice, we observe that desire to go eat at that moment. We eliminate it. My mother, eliminate this defect for me, and return to our heart, to the moment. Another defect appears that worries about what needs to be done tomorrow because it doesn't know how it will be done. We observe that thought, that worry. We realize that it is also a defect that wants to take us out of the moment, that is distracting us, and we eliminate it. My mother, eliminate this defect for me, and return to the moment. Suddenly, a fear or a state of anxiety appears. We observe it, realize it is a defect, and eliminate it. My mother, eliminate this defect for me. And so with all the psychological defects that appear, at the moment we are doing our practice. This practice or technique is very good because we are not only eliminating defects, but we are also doing the work to be able to consciously unfold. We will carry out this process of elimination until we manage to feel the symptoms. Finally, we have the chanting. In this case, what we are going to do is use a mantra or a word of power that will allow us to achieve a vibration that will help our astral body detach from our physical body and enable us to exit consciously. We will repeat these mantras out loud and then mentally until we manage to feel the symptoms. We will now explain how these mantras are to be pronounced. Alright, what are the steps for the practice of astral projection? Let's go ahead and talk about what those steps are. The first thing we are going to do is find a quiet place, which could be our room, where no one will disturb us at that moment or wake us up. Well, that's another fear people have, that if someone wakes me up while I'm doing astral projection, then something might happen to me. No, that's false. If someone wakes me up, well, I simply wake up just like when I'm sleeping and someone wakes me up. So it's exactly the same, only I'm doing it consciously, right? So that we can erase all those fears or those misconceptions. So let's find that quiet place. Once we have our quiet place where we can do our practice, we can lie down in a comfortable position where there's some sleepiness, but not so much that we fall asleep too quickly, right? It's important that we are comfortable, but ideally not lying in a position we usually sleep in, because if I, for example, lie down like this every day and fall asleep, then the idea is that in astral projection, during practice, the same thing doesn't happen, right? The idea of this practice is to actually become aware of the exact moment when the detachment occurs, or to manage to feel the symptoms. And that's why, in this case, what we are going to do is lie down, for example, in the supine position that is on our back. It is one of the most recommended positions, but each of you will choose a position that is comfortable, but does not lead you to sleep too quickly. Alright, once in that position, the next thing we are going to do is the closure, the belly link, and the magic circle. If you do not know this technique, you can skip it. And if not, we will learn it later when we cover conference number 7, the conference on conjurations. This is a technique to cleanse the place of all types of negative energies that may be present there, and then create a closure so that those negative energies cannot enter, allowing us to be in better harmony during our practice. The next thing we are going to do is make a request. We are going to ask our being, our divine Father and Mother, to help us in this practice of conscious astral projection so that we can be aware in the astral world and go conduct our various investigations. The next thing we are going to do is relax our emotions, our mind, and our physical body. To relax our emotions, what we are going to do is inhale and exhale deeply for about 2 or 3 minutes, while feeling that the entire emotional area located at the level of the navel is relaxing and letting go. We inhale deeply, we hold it and exhale through the mouth. We inhale through the nose, and exhale through the mouth until we feel the emotional part relax. Then we are going to relax our mind. For that, we will listen to the sounds around us, from the closest sounds to the farthest ones. We start by listening to our heart, by listening to our breathing, by listening to the sounds in the room where we are, the sounds in the house, the sounds outside the house. And each time we look for more distant sounds without focusing on any particular sound. We simply listen to the sound and then let it go and look for another sound. And in this way, our mind will begin to relax. Then we will relax our physical body. And to relax our physical body, what we will do is imagine a green fluorescent light that will relax, that will introduce a green energy entering through each part of our physical body and begin to relax it, to release it, to ease it. In this way, you simply close your eyes, imagine that light, that warm green fluorescent energy. Imagine it entering through the big toe of your right foot, then through the other toes, enveloping your entire right foot. Then it begins to penetrate through your entire leg, from the ankle to the knee, from the knee to the hip, and then you do the same with your left leg, okay? Then the same with your right hand, your right arm, your left hand, your left arm, your entire torso, your back, your neck, your face, your head, until you finish relaxing and releasing each part of your body. You will imagine how that light, as it penetrates each part of your body, relaxes and releases it. After doing the relaxation, you will use the technique. If you want to use the concentration technique, then focus on the space between your eyebrows or concentrate on your heart. And do not let any thoughts distract you. Remain focused there for a few minutes until you feel the symptoms. Similarly, with the sleep vigilance, you keep watch over the sleep until you feel the symptoms. With imagination, you imagine the place until you appear in the place. With psychological death note, you eliminate defects. My mother, eliminate this defect and this other one and this other one until you manage to feel the symptoms. And with mantra chanting, what we are going to do is pronounce a mantra. Here are some examples of the mantras we can pronounce. We can pronounce, for example, the mantra Pharaon, focused on the brow, imagining a pyramid here on the brow. We can also pronounce the mantra Laras, focused on the brow as well. We can pronounce the mantra Om, focused on the heart. We can also pronounce the mantra Om, also focused on the heart. Or we can pronounce the elongated R, focused on the throat. Any of these mantras will work for us. How do we pronounce these mantras? We will pronounce them very briefly. They should not last more than 6 seconds, as long as the exhalation lasts. Because the idea is not to pronounce them very loudly and for a long time, as that will scare away sleep. We need there to be a combination between wakefulness and sleep. So we will pronounce it briefly and let sleep come in a little. We can pronounce Farron in the following way. Laras in the following way. Laras. The O. O. The Om. Om. Or the R. But we are going to chant only one mantra. You are going to choose just one of the mantras. Whichever you want, just one per night. You cannot mix several mantras, but rather one single mantra during the night. And you keep repeating it. You repeat it 10 times, 12 times out loud. It doesn't have to be shouting loudly, but simply in a pronounced voice, and then you continue repeating it mentally. You will continue repeating the mantra for 5 minutes, 10 little minutes, and you will already be able to feel the symptoms. If you did a good relaxation, the symptoms will appear. And what are those symptoms going to be? Let's talk a little about the symptoms. The symptoms have to do with something that you will feel is strange, that is unusual, or that you don't normally feel. You, for example, might feel that you are rising. You might feel that you are inflating. You might feel that you are falling out of bed. You might feel, for example, that you are spinning at high speed. You might feel a tingling all over your body. You might feel a jolt in your spine, or a tingling in your spine. You might feel that a part of your body is lifting. You might feel a sound in your ear. You might feel many things. When you feel that, feel something strange, something unusual, at that moment, don't be scared. Don't tense up. Relax. Let go. Let yourself go. Let the symptom increase. If I, for example, feel that I am rising, I have to let go, relax. I won't be scared because it's simply a symptom of astral projection indicating that I am, my astral body is detaching as it does every night, but I am becoming aware of the process. So I will let go, I will relax, and I will allow the process to continue, meaning I will let my body keep rising. If I feel like I'm inflating, then I relax, let go, and allow my body to keep inflating. And so on, with any symptom. After I have allowed the symptom to increase, then I will get out of bed, which would be the next step. I get out of bed and check if I am already in the astral world or in the dream world. How can I check that I am already in that world? Well, since gravity doesn't exist in that world, I can take a little jump with the intention of floating. If I end up floating in the environment, it's because I'm already in the astral world. If you don't want to check it that way, or want to learn another method of verification, you can also stretch your finger. You take a finger or any part of your body and stretch it. And if, indeed, it stretches like taffy or simply stretches, if the finger stretches more or less up to here, or to any distance, it's because you are already in the astral world. You can also look around to see what's happening. You can look, for example, if there is something different, if the picture that was in front of you is no longer there, if the bed was on the right side and now it has appeared on the left side. This can also indicate to you that you are no longer in the physical world, but in the astral world. When you are already in the astral world, having confirmed that you are in the astral world, at that moment you will remember what your objective was. At the moment when you made the request to ask your being to please assist you in this practice, to help you in this practice, you need to set an objective there. What am I going to investigate? I am going to investigate a past life. I am going to investigate who my partner is. I am going to investigate how to solve this issue I am facing. I am going to investigate which defect I urgently need to work on. I am going to investigate a judgment from a previous life, which is what we talked about in the last conference. I am going to talk to a specific master, so I need to have a clear objective of what I am going to do in the astral world. I remember it. I ask for it from the moment I make the supplication, and I remember it here. When I manage to be conscious in the astral world, there I will remember what my objective is, and I will ask my being, my consciousness, my inner guide, to please take me to fulfill that objective. Another recommendation to conclude this conference: when you manage to wake up, when you wake up in the morning after having done your practice, stay still, do not move. This is very important because if we move, we might end up forgetting the memory of the astral world. So, we are going to stay still. We are going to remember what happened in the astral world. And after having recalled the entire experience we had, then we can move. We can write down the astral or record it with our cell phone, as we prefer. Because it is also very common that when we go to do our work, our daily activities, we forget our astral. That's why it's good to keep a record so that later when we have time to interpret it, which we will teach soon, the topic of astral interpretation. You can know exactly what they are telling you in that astral world. Many times, our being, our consciousness, communicates with us symbolically, and that's why we need to learn to interpret our astrals, and there we will find the answers to everything we want to know. Alright, that is the practice of astral projection. The secret is to practice continuously until you achieve it. The next lecture we will present is the lecture on the 7 centers of the human machine. You are cordially invited. See you later.